Welcome to the podcast about investing in startups, where existing investors can learn how to get the best deal possible, and those that have never before invested in startups can learn the keys to success from the venture experts. Your host is Nick Moran, and this is The Full Ratchet.
Welcome back to TFR for a special installment of Investor Stories. In this segment, the investors tell a story about some of the most odd and unusual situations they've ever encountered as investors. This is the segment called The Strange and Unusual. On today's special segment, we have Chris Olsen of Drive Capital. Chris, can you tell us a story about one of the strangest or most unusual things you've encountered as a startup investor?
I mean, I have the opportunity to meet with an incredible range of people on a daily basis. You know, my job is to meet with the next innovators, the next founder, the next CEO of these companies. And I think what I'm continually reminded by is the potential that young people have to change their industry is incredibly powerful. You know, they think of things in ways that have no limits, and it's an incredible opportunity for all of us to remember that, you know, those are the folks who are changing the landscape that are out here. So repeat entrepreneurs are great. There are folks who like that too. I think what we find is that it's the first-time entrepreneurs that have the most potential. Now, they also come with their challenges because they're not necessarily the most experienced managers in the world. And I think, you know, there's a whole host of folks that we've worked with on helping them get through those kind of phases and there's some crazy stories that we've been able to live through.
So do you guys have in-house support services across a variety of functions for some of these first-time entrepreneurs?
We do, and we spend a lot of time, you know, and our idea is that, look, help us here when you need it. You're the owner of your company. You're the founder of your company. We are a trusted business partner who's here to help you, and we've got all kinds of resources. So we've got a talent partner here, Robert, who focuses on all kinds of talent situations, whether it's this is how you build a great engineering team, this is how you manage your board, this is how you recruit in an independent director, this is a coach for you, all kinds of stuff like that. We've got another partner who's a customer partner. Yasmin she's a fabulous partner who spends a lot of time just meeting those next customers, those big Fortune 500 customers that she can introduce to our portfolio companies. And we also have our CFO, Christina Perry, who is a financial resource for our portfolio companies. You can go to Christina and you can admit, like, hey, I don't know what a balance sheet is, and I don't know what revenue is, and I got to figure these things out. And she's a great resource for them.
On today's special segment, we have James Hardiman of Data Collective. James, can you tell us a story about the craziest situation or pitch you've come across in your time as a venture investor?
I've certainly seen some crazy pitches.
I think we all have.
Yeah, I do. Probably one of the craziest situations, you know, that I've been looped into. You know, there's a dispute between two founders, one of which, you know, was a portfolio company of ours. And the other founder, you know, kind of sent them a pretty aggressive email, kind of personally attacking them and, you know, kind of like threatening to crush their company.
Wow.
And had CC'd me into this chain, right? So, you know, I could scroll back and had seen kind of the back and forth between these two founders. And, you know, so I wrote to my founder and was kind of like, hey, you know, kind of don't worry about this. You know, try to be kind of empathetic to like this situation. And I think it was a learning for me around how hard the entrepreneurial journey is and how stressful it can be. And there's a lot of pressure within, you know, the Valley to like always be crushing it, you know, and to have kind of like massive outcomes. So even though people preach this, you know, trying to build a place where failure is acceptable, I think in many ways, you know, that's not always true. If you don't have a good outcome, you know, then people question whether they want to back you again. You know, I think that can be kind of what happens in the back rooms. Mm-hmm. And I think that can create kind of, you know, unhealthy environments. And there's not really enough talk around like mental health and helping founders deal with the stress associated with being a founder and running a startup. You know, one thing that I do to try and, you know, help at my portfolio companies is I always encourage my CEOs to get a coach, get a CEO coach. And I think there's starting to be this burgeoning industry around that. And I think that can really help because, being the CEO, being the founder is, it's a really lonely position. And so having someone that can help mentor you through that, that's, not your investor, that's not your employees, or maybe someone that, might not understand what it's like because they haven't been in your position, can really help people work through that.
Well, there's enough challenges in the industry in the first place, just, having success in the business. For somebody to implode themselves or for founders to be attacking each other, it just seems so unnecessary with the number of challenges that already exist.
Right. And that's, I think it was a little bit of a crazy situation. I've only seen that once. I kind of chalk it up to the high stress, environment that people can be in. And I'm guessing, this person just didn't have an outlet. Maybe they were just in a particularly, challenging moment. So I try to, even though it is crazy, I try to have a lot of empathy for those kinds of things.
Sure. On today's special segment, we have Elizabeth Galbut of SoGal Ventures. Elizabeth, can you tell us a story about the craziest situation or pitch you've encountered?
Yeah, so this one's pretty funny. So I'm home with my family on Thanksgiving Day, and I get a cold email from a founder with her pitch. And, I just I'm not really paying attention. I'm with my family. So it really slipped through the cracks, and I didn't remember anything about it. Then on New Year's Eve at 10:30 p.m., I get another email from this founder while I'm literally at a New Year's Eve party.
Wow.
Saying how rude it was that I didn't respond, how I'm not professional at my job, and how she doesn't even want me to invest because it's clear that, I wouldn't be a valuable partner for her business.
Wow.
And I was a little bit floored. I would recommend to that founder that she reads the books, How to Win Friends and Influence People, because, it's never good to flat out attack people. That definitely doesn't help get you what you want.
Sure.
But I think, a lot of times I've seen founders look to VCs as either VCs are on this pedestal of, they're this high, almighty, powerful person that could give me money and make my dream come true. Or, they're this terrible person who said no to me and doubts what I'm creating and never thinks I'm going to be successful. The honest truth of it is I think almost all VCs were neither of those things. We're human beings that, we have families, we have thousands of emails too, we have to-do lists that never get fully done. And we have, a limited amount of funds with, for example, in your fund, you said 25, we do 40 to 50 investments out of our fund. If we're seeing, 3,000 deals a year, so over a 4-year period, 12,000 deals, but can only invest in 40 to 50, that doesn't mean I don't think this person's a good person or I don't think that they could be successful, right? Right. I have to pass on so many things that I think are just excellent teams, excellent ideas. It's just I can't invest in everything, right?
Right.
And so I think it's so important for founders just to realize, we're all human too. I always say, I'm traveling all the time. I get so many emails, text messages, WhatsApp, WeChats, Twitters, Facebook messages, Slack messages. It's so overwhelming. So if I don't respond initially, just, follow up with me a couple days later. And then if I still don't respond, follow up a week later. And then maybe by the third time, if I haven't responded, you can give up. Yeah. But I think it's important to be persistent as a founder. I know I have to be persistent as a VC raising a fund, but I think there's a polite way to do it that recognizes, we're all humans who probably should be spending time with our family and friends on Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve.
That will conclude this installment of Investor Stories. If you're enjoying the program and would like to see it continue, take a moment and leave a 5-star review in iTunes. Also, if you'd like updates on new content from TFR, as well as the top 10 VC articles every week, go to fullratchet.net and sign up for the newsletter. Okay, that will wrap things up for today. Until next time, over-prepare, choose carefully, and invest confidently. Thanks for joining me.